Did you know that it is scientifically proven that both your blood pressure and your stress levels lower whenever you're with animals? Hi, my name is Kaylin Cox, and today I'll be emphasizing the importance of why you should volunteer at animal shelters in your free time. Over 6.5 million dogs and cats are put in animal shelters each year, and about 1.2 million dogs and 1.4 million cats are euthanized in shelters each year. What's going on in the shelters? Most of the animals are rescues in shelters, so chances are they have many health problems that need to be taken care of, and most likely the shelter doesn't know of these health problems, so these animals aren't getting treated or the medicine they need for these health problems. And they aren't getting taken outside maybe once a day because there's so many animals and there aren't enough employees at the shelter to take care of them and make sure they're able to go outside more than once a day, because we use the restroom more than once a day. And shelters are completely overcrowded, and there isn't an equal employees to animals ratio, and that kind of bounces off the whole only able to use the restroom once a day. There's just not enough employees to make sure every single animal gets every single thing taken care of for them each day and whenever they need it. Why should you care? Innocent animals are lonely in their cages. It's been scientifically proven that animals, especially dogs, get depressed just like humans do if they're lonely or kept in captivity for too long and there's not a lot to do. They can get depressed just as easily. And animals' health is at stake, so when a bunch of animals, especially strays that weren't well taken care of and didn't get the vaccinations and medication that they needed, they're going to have health problems, and especially when they're kept so close together. So if one animal gets sick, chances are all of them, if not all, most are going to get sick too. And pretty common health issues in pounds are kennel cough, parvo, and Lyme disease. And Lyme disease is carried from ticks. So if a stray has a tick, which chances are it probably does, then a bunch of other animals may get it in the shelter too. And then one of my older dogs, when we adopted her from the pound, she had a case of kennel cough too, and then we got her treated for it. And then you could save an animal's life if you chose to adopt or foster after you volunteered. And then how serious is the problem? In my hometown, there is so overcrowded that they had to keep some animals in their cages in the storage closet because the building just wasn't big enough to hold all of them in there. And then in severely overcrowded shelters, animals are getting put down because there just simply isn't enough room to hold them all in there. And then young animals are growing up in cages and they're not able to experience human interaction. So if they do end up getting adopted, they're probably going to be very nervous and shy. And when dogs get nervous, they tend to growl and then they may even bite. And that's especially a huge problem if there's a small child in the family that adopted them. And who is affected and how? The animals, obviously, because they aren't kept in very habitable environments. And people that work at the shelters, they're overwhelmed at work and are unable to help the hundreds of animals that need help whenever they need it. And then the veterinarians, because if an animal at a shelter gets sick, multiple others are probably going to get it too. And so they have an illness and then multiple animals they need to treat. And then my plan of action is definitely advertise help needed at the animal shelters on social media. So begin with starting an Instagram or a Facebook account for the animal shelter and let the community know they can get involved and let them know how they can get involved. And then obviously post on it often, post pictures of the animals and just tell them a little bit about the animals, and it'll definitely influence the community to come down and help. Bring some pets to local pet stores, and when people are there shopping, they will see all the animals and they will probably be more influenced to adopt or even foster, and then probably come down and volunteer if they aren't able to adopt. Schools can have classes go up and volunteer for an afternoon. Some classes up at schools need community service points. I was in leadership my junior year of high school, and we had to have 10 points of community service every quarter. And so I would always go down to the animal shelter with some friends, and we'd walk dogs for an afternoon to get community service points. And the results, the community knows they can help in the get help at the shelter, and it's wanted. If people see animals at stores, they would be more encouraged to adopt or even foster, obviously, and volunteer. If a class went for a few hours, a lot of animals would get walked and fed in that time if everyone helped. So each child could get paired with could walk 30 dogs in an afternoon, and help feed them. And what will happen if nothing is done? Shelters will continue to overcrowd, and animals will continue to get euthanized due to the overcrowding, and animals won't know of a life outside of the animal shelter. And then in conclusion, we need the community to know their help is needed. If you have any free time, feel free and feel like giving back, please feel free to go down to your local animal shelter and just give a hand and help with whatever needs to be done. And remember, you are helping save a dog's life. All right, thank you.